Guys, are you guys a fan of lollies? Alright guys, before you guys come after me, welcome everybody to a new art topic. Today we'll be talking about the recent banning in Texas. People are putting out is a ban on lollies. If you guys don't know what lollies is, it's pretty much a weird genre, I want to say, in anime that even I don't like watching, that I pretty much ignore. It's pretty much where like there is a little kid or a minor with an anime and they kind of put them in a somewhat of a sexual manner. Or a big example is when a character is like looks like a little kid, like legit little kid, but they make an excuse like, oh, it's 1,000-year-old vampire or god or demon or whatever, and they kind of use that as an excuse to like kind of use that kind of thing. One of the weirdest ones that, in my personal opinion, was the 7 deadly sins. All right guys, let me show you guys a quick example of why lollies I'm not a big fan of, because even I feel weird searching this up. So this right here is an example of a lolly. This is Elaine from 7 deadly sins. As you can see, it looks like a little kid. Well, that is supposed to be Bond's wife, and she's supposed to be like a 1,000-year-old fairy, something like that. I don't even finish watching them. I ain't gonna lie. This is one of the reasons why I stopped watching 7 deadly sins. It's just too weird, especially like fan art like this. I'm just saying. All right, let's get back to the actual art topic. All right, like I said, I don't want to do a lot of search on that because, like I said, it is weird. Anyways, so this is the tweet that started it all. So here it is right here from Dexardo. Says Texas senators have unanimously passed a bill that is signed into law could make several games, anime, and manga series illegal to own in the state. The bill bans obscene depiction of a minor or someone who looks like one. So pretty much lollies. So I mean, this was announced about 2 days ago. It was pretty much passed that these type of designs and characters are no longer allowed to be owned in the state of Texas. There is a backlash and non-backlash to this because, well, there is an article of this. So here we go right here. So here it is. New Texas bill could be incredibly popular. Anime and video games illegal in the state of Texas. So it says right here, a Texas bill was, oh, sorry, we just passed that. We already read that. Some of the most popular anime and mangas of all time contain these sorts of depictions, depending on how Texas lawmakers feel about certain series. There's a good chance that many of the most popular anime manga series ever could be affected, seeing as many stories center around people who are high school age and content that depicts the characters who are underage in a way Texas law deems obscene, which will be committing a felony offense. So pretty much for like example of characters that were like, you know, young, maybe like when the first part of Naruto could be. So actually, let me show you guys a quick list of like what we'll consider high school and possibly banned in Texas. So if you look right here, this is Dan Dan Dan. It's a brand new anime that came out on Netflix. If you watch the anime, there's a lot of fan service and a lot of stuff that shouldn't be showcasing, if in a way where it's like, oh, this is inappropriate. And a lot of Texas could ban this type of anime right here. There's also this one, Grand Blue Dreaming. There's Chardora Dora. This is another example of lolicon, because the character looks very young and also like short kind of thing, and I believe this is a romance. So like, look at all these animes right here that are considered, I guess, quote unquote, some of the best, you know, animes in high school, whatever. Some of these could get banned. Obviously not all of them, obviously, but some of these could get banned. Obviously a silent voice it would not get banned. I mean, I do know about this one. Incredible story. Anyways, I'm going on a tangent, but I just want to show you guys some examples of some of the animes like that could get banned and some that cannot get banned. So the next part says right here, Texas bill could make several popular series illegal. Senate Bill 20 is intended to be rolled out as an amendment to Chapter 46 of Texas Penal Code, with this section reading as follows: a person commits an offense is a person knowingly accesses with intent to view or promote obscene visual material containing a depiction that appears to be of a child younger than 18 years old of age engaging in activities described of section 43.21. regardless of whether the depiction is an image of a natural child, a cartoon, or animation, or an image created using artificial intelligence, applications, or other computer software. That said, the activities described by section 43.21 are by design up to interpretation, though they describe the standard acts that would be considered deplorable, but most and definition obscene material ends with this line. Material or performance that, taken as a whole, lacks serious literacy, artistic, political, and social value. So pretty much it's up to the person to see like, hey, if this is okay or not. Not like the person, but like the law, I guess in this case the law. And it could be where there's some animes that are not really showcasing in that way, where it may seem that way, but like if you take out of context, a lot of things could be obviously showcased in a very bad manner. And in this case, it's kind of showcasing if people are using it in a very bad way, or distributing it in a very bad way, even making a meme or a joke or anything like that, could get people in trouble now. And obviously there's gonna be an argument, is censorship gonna be good, this is censorship bad? Because again, there's a lot of people that don't like lollies. Like for example, myself, I don't like that type of content. I don't watch it, I ignore it, I move on with my life, right? But there are people that love it, that are obsessed with it, and for me personally, I think they're just too much. It's gonna be very hard to like really what are gonna like actually ban, because in this example, what they have right here in the article, Persona said things get murky when this applied to a game series like Persona. Aside from the story arcs that center around the sexual exploitation of minors present in both 4th and 5th entries in the series, Persona also has a dating sim mechanics that the characters are getting into a romantic relationship. Many of these characters are under age of 18. So pretty much it's like, if your character is under 18 and you are quote unquote flirting or doing a dating sim within the game, that is technically you're breaking the law within Texas. Now, is that to the extreme, or is that like, I guess in their eyes, the right thing to do? For my personal opinion, I think the data sim is just a data sim. It doesn't be like, obviously gonna be some people who are taking it too far, but for the most part, people just take it as the game and they're just going with the game and trying to accomplish a mission or something like that and kind of go from there. They're not trying to go too weird or look everything too weird or anything like that, in my personal opinion. So it's like, I don't think like Persona should be like a game that should be banned, especially in the full context of the game. And just because it's in high school does not mean it's gonna be showcased in a very bad way, I guess you could say. Because even in this right here, Persona series doesn't show any explicit material listed in the section 43.21 related to minors. Data mechanics are a core part of the story for both games. There is a chance that, depending how Texas interpreted this bill, if it were to be signed into law, owning one of these Persona games could be a felony in the state of Texas. The same is true for many popular anime and manga series, with many of them depicted high school age individuals, and a lot could be interpreted as sexual in nature, like Kill la Kill, Gurren Lagann, and the Monogatari series. I butchered that so bad, I'm sorry. Bleach come to mind as an example. So if you guys know what Kill la Kill is, pretty much it's about clothes, I guess you could say, fights and clothes. And in this anime, these minors actually showcase very revealing clothes, like extremely revealing clothes, where like they're, if you guys watch, you guys know what I'm talking about. And it's like, oh, when you really think about it, these are minors. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is kind of weird. Even though this is like a series that people love, people have fun with it, people enjoy it, people are fans of this show. It's just like, there's some people are like, is this weird? So it's like, should we ban stuff like this? Because again, in my controversial take, I don't know, it should be controversial. I think Japan or anime in general have two big problems that I don't like personally. This is stuff like this, like lolicons kind of thing, or depicting minors in a very sexual manner, and also what's it called? Fan service. Which fan service is pretty much where like there's no reason why it should happen, but it just happens kind of thing, where the character just, they take off their clothes for some reason. It just, or a sexual thing happens out of nowhere kind of thing. And one of the current examples that actually made me stop watching was Fire Force. There's this character, like a cat-like character, Fire. I forgot her name, but like for some reason every single time she gets like pretty much almost nude in almost every scene, pretty much, and it's just I was like, all right. Oh, so this is where the vampire thing happens. The Monogatari series is a different level than these examples, though, with a 1,000+ year-old vampire depicted as a young child in both original light novels and anime adaptations. The main character, Arigari, is regularly seen engaged in explicit acts with underage women or women who look like children but are above the age of 18 for plot reasons. The characters under this category are much more likely to be affected by this bill, and though the Monogatari series is one of the most popular examples, dozens upon dozens of anime series are presented in a similar way. It's worth mentioning, however, the bill will be unanimously passed by state senators doesn't necessarily mean it will get signed into law just yet, although it could make it a lot more it could make it a lot more likely. So I'm conflicted because it is a case of censorship, but I'm also conflicted because I'm not a fan of the lolicons or showcasing minors in that kind of way, because I remember watching Kill la Kill when I was in high school. You know what I mean? Like, I watched that anime and I thought it was super dope, super cool, but I was in high school at that time. I was the minor watching this show. So technically, like, obviously laws change throughout time, but like, let's say that the laws was passed around that time, I would not be breaking the law because I'm not a minor. I mean, I'm a minor, sorry. 2010, I was a minor. And so it's like, that means that will be okay then, because since I'm a minor, I'm under age 18 watching this show, so it's okay then, right? That's where like the questions come in. It's like, well, I'm a fan of this anime. I watched it a long time ago, and I watched it when I was in high school, and I owned the DVD because I love the show. I love the characters, I love the fight scenes, etc., stuff like that. So it's like, are they just gonna start banning people like that people already own this type of content animes? You know what I mean? So I actually found some like comments that I found interesting. Here's another. Oh, here's one right here. It says, this sounds impossible to fairly enforce. It puts the government in charge of deciding what art is violation and what it is. I think they said what it isn't. There is no objective criteria. Sounds a good sounding idea. There's actually a bad idea. Again, it's loosely worded. So like, you may not be doing anything like that, but if they stay that way, you could be breaking the law in their eyes. That's what they're pretty much saying. Another one is the real question is, where would you get rid of the real stuff? Movies like Cuties or shows like Euphoria are literally depicting underage kids doing things. So can we get them to stop being made too? I feel like it's as good as this is, it just becomes a slippery slope, because that is true. If you guys don't know the show Euphoria, it's pretty much about underage kids. They're in high school who are dealing with like drug addiction, cheating, fighting. I think in some place was murder. I'm not sure. Anyways, but even I know there's even nudity in that show. It's Euphoria. It's HBO Max. But when you think about it, they're a minor. Like, they're playing the character as a minor, but the actor is not a minor. If that makes sense. So it's like they're playing a character who is in high school, and we're seeing them, you know, nude in some ways. So it's like, are we gonna start banning that stuff? Because it's like, oh, you guys are pushing it, even though the actor is over age in real life, but they're playing a underage character in the show. So it's like, are we gonna start banning all that stuff too? So I'm very curious of what you guys think about how far should we take this? Should we ban all of it? Should it's gonna be a slippery slope where like, okay, we're gonna ban this, we're not gonna ban that, we're gonna ban this, we're this one, okay, all right. And then so I feel like it's gonna go all over the place personally. So I want to end this like with like my personal opinion about all this. It's like, on one end, like I said, I'm down for lolly stuff to be banned. I mean, I personally don't watch it, I don't like it, I move on from it. Obviously you can't, I don't know what Japan's gonna do, but obviously if they want to ban our US, I won't be like, oh my god, I can't believe it. But there is an argument about censorship too as well. But it's like, can you really argue censorship with like when it comes to minors kind of stuff? But then it goes into the argument of real life stuff, real life content, real life like stories. What I mean by real life, like I said, the Euphoria story, stuff like that. And so like, how far we're gonna take this, or if it does even pass. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this law should pass? And if so, why do you guys think the law should pass? Or let me know why this law will be wrong to pass, and why it will pretty much destroy will censor a lot of media, I guess you could say. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me tonight, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Hit the like, subscribe, guys. And yeah, I thought it was a very interesting development story of like the law about this, honestly. And yeah, I was just very curious about what are people gonna think about this. And I mean, just reading up on it, like there people are like, I won't say 50-50, but there are people arguing for it and arguing against it. So I want to hear your guys' opinion about this. Let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out, much love. I'll see you guys on the next one. And again, a lot more art's coming because I'm finally get to breathe, and I could finally make more content than just the art topics, even though I showed them. But I could do more. I could do more. All right. Woo! Yeah.